Strong morning energy starts with consistent PM evening rituals. Let's do a deep dive around how we are finishing our days. We've already done a deep dive around the morning ritual and the supreme importance of priming and protecting the first hour of our day, priming our energies with maybe a breathing practice or meditation practice, taking time to journal our thoughts, set really strong intention for the day, maybe have some morning movement, and then protecting ourselves from the social media and from scrolling and from external influences, especially as we're in this kind of sensitive morning state. We're just come out of slumber. It's maybe a wonderful time to track our dreams from the night prior. But what do we do about the PM ritual? I'm having more and more people ask me about this and what I do. So I'll share a little bit about what I do to close the workday and prepare for the evening and slumber, etc. And then I'll share three of the strategies, three pain points or challenges that we have, or obstacles, maybe better said, that we'll be vigilant for, that get in the way of us having a strong PM ritual and good sleep. So let's dive in. For me, it's when the sun sets, typically that's around 5:30 to 6 here in Miami, Florida. I'm going outside and I'm watching the sunset. That's been one of the major blessings. I've got a new place here. I'm on the bay. The sun sets over downtown Miami. It's very picturesque, very beautiful. The palm trees, again, the bay, the cruise ships, just the scenery screams abundance. And how much do you want it, man? How much do you want your dreams? How much do you want to travel around the world? How much do you want to meet that special woman? And I'm here in this again beautiful, beautiful place, Miami. So that's my mindset. I'm in the spirit of gratitude, feeling so good about and grateful for this incredible opportunity to be here in Florida. And it's a mindful opportunity. I might have my journal. I might not. I might do some slow breathing. It might just be a mindful moment of gratitude. But I'm starting to wind down, and that's my mindset. But from a physiological standpoint, watching the sunset is sending a signal to all my cells. We've talked about the supercharismatic nucleus, that cell that we all have that recognizes low solar angle. So I'm out watching the sunset, and the sun is like orangey. And so that's, again, going to send a signal saying, hey, we're running out of daylight here. We've got another hour or two left. And our body starts to slow down and starts to prepare for slumber and for sleep. And, all of that is happening from on a subconscious level, but it's happening, and I'm starting to ease into calm, quiescence, peace. And again, the body is starting to slow down a little bit, and that's going to be advantageous for slumber. Again, I might do a little bit of gratitude journaling, might be mapping a little bit about, I probably have already written my things to do list and kind of mapped my day for the subsequent day for tomorrow, just so I have a basic outline of what is to come. So I've already got that out of my mind onto paper, so I don't have to give it that much thought. And that really helps me, because I'm waking up in the morning, I've already got a plan prepped. It's not a rigid plan. It's a very loose, kind of rough outline plan. But I believe that our subconscious mind is working on that plan while we're sleeping. So if you haven't started, I would encourage you to start mapping out your professional, your work day as perhaps the last thing that you do before you close shop for the day, and that will be a strong ritual. And then maybe you go out and do your sunset walk or go view the sunset, or whatever that might be for you wherever you are. But I think that will be a really strong way to set us up for success. Less anxiety, less what am I walking into? Am I walking into a shitstorm tomorrow? we don't know. And if we haven't prepped and we haven't taken the time, we're going to be more likely to probably miss appointments, miss opportunities, and to let the day dictate us as opposed to us dictating the day. Again, that the three challenges that we have to be mindful of are when we are the few hours before bed. I've talked about this ad nauseum, and I'm going to continue to talk about it, and you're going to continue to hear more about this in the mainstream zeitgeist culture, is the problem of blue light. The screen that you're watching me on right now, it emits blue light. So if you're watching this and it's after 10 o'clock, I give you full permission to stop watching and to go about your day, get some rest, and to know or if you are watching and you're going to continue to watch, to know that this is not a beneficial time to be absorbing the blue light. You might have your blue light glasses on, or your green light glasses. Roca, the Huberman Lab, or Dr. Huberman promotes a Roca. Those are the glasses that I use. They're pretty sharp. I think that they do a good job of blocking some of the blue light and green light. Probably not all of them, because I do notice that if I'm spending extensive time on my phone after the sun has gone down, that equates significantly to sleep disturbances. So that's something that we want to be mindful of, our screen time, whether we have the glasses or not. And again, we're extremely mindful of the blue light, because we don't want the blue light. The blue light sends a signal, again, to our suprachiasmatic nucleus saying, hey, whoa, the sun is out. And if the sun is out, then why on earth would we produce our natural melatonin? And then we stop producing the natural melatonin because our system is tricked into thinking that the blue light is sun exposure. And thus we have these sleep disturbances where we wake up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and then we can't go back to sleep. And then we're up for 2 or 3 hours, and then we finally get another hour or two of sleep. But then we're really groggy and sluggish the next day. And there was a Harvard study that showed that these sleep disturbances significantly hit our dopamine levels in the subsequent day, potentially 2 days. And again, dopamine is less the molecule of pleasure and reward. It's more the molecule of motivation, of drive, of focus, or a motivation of getting things done. Focus is the norepinephrine that we talk a lot, and I pair those two together when we're doing cold exposure, but that's not the case here. So again, when we're having these sleep disturbances, we're getting a major hit on dopamine, and that's going to significantly handicap our motivation and energy levels and our drive for the next day. So we want to be very mindful about the blue light. That means that we want to have analog practices like journaling our thoughts, like reading an old-fashioned book or just a paperback book. It's funny I say old-fashioned because I've started and I almost exclusively listen to audiobooks now. And that's something that I probably should be reading more and set that as an intention, as a challenge. But right now I'm doing, mostly because of my living situation and moving this and that, listening to a lot of audiobooks, and I listen to 1 to 2 per week. And I'll typically have the audiobook set up, and I'll set a timer on it for 90 minutes. And so it'll just turn off at around my bedtime. And so I'm not on the screen. The phone is not in my room. I've got the phone in the next room. And again, with a timer, I've got a nice audiobook on, and I think it's really important to focus on something that nourishes us, not necessarily educational material. I like to listen to kind of obscure audiobooks. Sometimes I will listen to The Science of Scaling, and I've listened to that probably a half dozen times because I'm so fascinated by Dr. Hardy's work, and I want those principles to be embedded in my DNA. The Science of Scaling by Dr. Hardy and a lot of his other books. But that's also very aligned with my purpose. And there's some times where I rebel against that. And I'm like, I just want to sit and chill and listen to history or listen to a book about finances. I just listened to a wonderful book called The Art of Spending Money by Morgan Housel, one of my favorite authors. I love the way that he It's a very humble message in the way that he shares, things that are rooted in history and have historical precedents and examples. So I'm always so fascinated by his work and his angle, and again, his humility. So I might listen to a book about that, something like that, or a science book where I'll nerd out about circadian rhythms, or I'm reading another book about the molecule of more about dopamine, so I can better understand dopamine. So when I'm sharing and expending my dopamine on these videos for all of y'all, that I'll have a more dialed in understanding of the molecule of more. That's the book that I started reading in the last few days. And so again, but like that book is something that just fascinates me, and it's not something that I feel like I need to listen to super closely. I'm just genuinely super interested in, and so I don't feel pressure at all. There's like that childlike wonder that I feel when I'm listening to some of these science books, is because it really is incredible how they're mapping optimal human performance, and they're mapping this new paradigm of health and wellness that's happening in real time. And again, I'm absorbing as much as I can of it because I want to understand why I feel so gosh darn good. That was so long I felt so bad in my body and lethargic and low affect and low libido and woe is me and negative thoughts and ruminative thoughts and all of these negative feedback loops, and I'm mostly free of that. That's why I'm here on YouTube, sharing this high vibrational energy and information to hopefully inspire you, the viewer, to take big action on your life and to make some of these. And maybe it starts with subtle adjustments. With hey, there's an insight or two that you glean from each of these videos. That might, in time, when we're applying this, will potentially equate to big changes. Again, the tech boundaries, super important. I'm hearing more people talk about, in addition to the blue light, yes, we want to be mindful of the blue light because that's going to disrupt our natural flow of melatonin, and it's going to disrupt our circadian rhythm, and it's going to have us waking up in the middle of the night and with lackluster energies the next day. But something that more and more people are talking about is what are we consuming, and the supreme importance of that. Are we scrolling on Instagram, on Facebook? Are we dialed into all this all of the banter and all the nonsense and all the fear and all the polarization and all of this algorithmically procured stuff that is designed to pull us in? Are we caught in that fearful, low vibrational energy before bed? That is problematic. And again, I'm hearing more and more people talk about that. It's not just the blue light, but it's the fear and the chaos, and that elevates our blood pressure and creates a stress response. And that's gonna significantly change the architecture of our sleep. That's gonna help, and I know that because I've got my Whoop device, and I see that when I'm stressed before bed, that hits my deep sleep and my REM sleep, more of my deep sleep than my REM sleep. And it takes longer for my body to surrender and to fully get into slumber and to start getting into this reparative and restorative sleep. I use the analogy with the deep sleep is our inner janitorial crew that's coming in and cleaning out all of the toxicity that we drink in our water, that we breathe in the air, all the GMOs and the crap they put in our foods, all of that. We have this miraculous human organism, this body that can filter out all of the BS Inc., and we can still be healthy, happy, and strong and thrive, even amid the toxic soup that we all live in. So thanks be to God that we have deep sleep and we have the science for understanding how our body can repair itself. And then the REM sleep is our inner team of psychologists and psychiatrists that are working to consolidate memories and to work on our dreams and learning and neuroplasticity. And that they're working on, again, sorting memories, what gets into long-term storage, what gets into short-term storage, what is irrelevant, what do we need to purge, etc. So that's really important that we're bringing this quiescence into the dream world so we can get better sleep, more deep sleep, more REM sleep, higher sleep scores, so we're consistently waking up with strong energy in the morning. And one last point that's super important, and I put up a important post share about this. It's my understanding that this is the most potent longevity lever to be pulled, and that this increases our percentage of, or decreases our percentage of all-cause mortality by up to 50%. That means that the person that has the consistent sleep schedule where they're waking up close to the same time each day and they're going to sleep close to the same time each day, and then the other groups and they're controlling all of the other aspects of these respective groups, and the group that has a wonky sleep schedule where they're getting up at one night they're going to sleep at 7 or at 8, one night they're going to sleep at 11, one night they're going to sleep at 9, the next night they're going to sleep at 3 a.m. The group that has the consistent sleep and wake up time has a 50% less chance of getting cancer and heart disease and all of these other maladies. That's my understanding. So that's a pretty significant reason why we want to consistently go to sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time. And yes, we don't want to be overly neurotic about this. And if we do this 5 to 6 days per week, our energy levels are going to soar. But giving ourselves a day, possibly 2 days, where we have some slack and have some flexibility, maybe we have a date, we're getting out for a little romance, and we're out on the town having a fun time. And as Dr. Huberman says, and he has a similar kind of ethos when it comes to this, if we're going to be out late and we're going to have all that blue light and we're going to do this and that, and we're going to disrupt our circadian rhythm, better have a good time. So that puts an extra onus on us that we are having a good time and that we're not just out to be out and kind of just going along with the herd, so to speak. So if we're going to be out, have a blast. If not, stay home, be consistent with your routine, be very mindful about, again, maybe it starts with a PM walk for you, an after dinner walk. That's going to be really good for digestion as well. And that's going to help us get into some of these greater sleep states that we're talking about. Maybe it's a sunset, whatever it is for you. The importance is that it's consistent. And I think that ritual comes into play. Ritual denotes that we're doing something similar the majority of the time. And that's going to help anchor our times where we're not deviating too much and we're not having those nights where we're going to sleep at 3 o'clock and 1 o'clock and we're wondering, where's my energy in the morning? So hopefully you found value in this. For more on the Worth the Fight mission, message of hope and healing, check out worththefightbook.org. We'll see you tomorrow. Love and peace. Thank you.